Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Dayang Masita binti Abang Abdul Razak. So I'm from group number 2, section 1/1, BMMV.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Batrisha Nur Saadah.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Irfan Hisham bin Suhaimi. Latest number B0919100029 from BMMB S1/1.
Hi, my name is Iswansha bin Hanafi. My metric number B0919100076. I'm from 2BMMV S1/1.
Hi, my name is Davian Evan from 2PMMV Section 1/1, matric number B0919100391.
So the first thing is raw material, that is purchasing. So the first is the thickness of steel plates commonly used in stainless steel sinks is between 0.8mm and 1.5mm. And next is the sink factory purchase steel plates of different width according to the needs of the production sink models. The steel plates is sent to the sink workshop in the form of roll wearing. And next, normally untrimmed steel plates have a maximum width of 1220mm and have almost unlimited length. Okay, next is material lamination. The ductility of steel plates is limited. In order to prevent the steel plate from being broken or damaged during stretching, it is necessary to coat the steel plates at the initial stage of material. The film is cut only one side of the steel sheet, and one side of the film will face the mold in the subsequent stretching process. And limitation can be done before or after the cutting. And next is material cutting. It depending on the length of the tank design. The long steel plate needs to be cut into sections to meet the size requirement of the blank. And next, in the figure on the right, the worker operates the roller switch so that the protective film and the steel plates pass through the roller compaction zone at the same time. And the lamination is complete with pressure. And then, when the cut steel plates pass through the guillotine line blade, the worker press the guillotine switch as required to break the steel plates to obtain a reasonable size raw material. And next is material angle cutting. The cut sheet is not a regular rectangle. In order to roughly conform the appearance of the sink, it is also necessary to push the sheet into the shells of shearing. The finished sheet is generally polygonal and may have arc edge. And then the final is first drawing pen oil. And the first is apply stretch oil evenly on both sides on the corset and cut sheet. Extrude oil can help the plate evenly, reducing the chance of stretch cracking and extending the life of the mold and press.
The next step of drawing is a drawing. The first step is to place the steel plate on the press table. There are holes on the upper and lower plates of the workbench. The product mold is located within the holes of the lower plate of the table. When the motor switch is pressed, the upper plate of the hydraulic stage is lowered and the entire table comes down. During the sinking process, the horizontal position of the die remains unchanged so that the steel plate is forced upward to complete form stretching. The first drawing depth must be 80% or more of the total design depth. The next step of drawing is cleaning. Cleaning is for remove the pre-formed ball and clean the bench that is contaminated by drawing oil. The first drawing sink will be sent to the cleaning site to remove the coating, and the remaining drawing oil will be washed away to prepare for the annealing process. The next process is annealing. Annealing can restore the activity of highly stressed stainless steel plates. The annealing line itself is a 33 20 meters long high temperature line. The furnace temperature is about 1150 degrees Celsius. The two sides are entrance and exit, and the sinks are transported in one direction by a cable car or conveyor. Neat components are include degaussing. This eliminates the magnetic properties of stainless steel due to stretching. The next step for annealing is annealing furnace. Many sink plants do not have annealing lines themselves, but instead outsource annealing to third-party annealing plants. Sometimes, sink plants also use annealing furnace to achieve alternate functions depending on their needs.
So, I will continue to explain about the second drawing. For second drawing, after annealing, the zinc will be drawn by the hydraulic press and mold. The second drawing needs to be fully drawn to the design depth. And for edge cutting, after the product is drawn, no shrinkage occur on the edge of the steel plates. At this point, the finishing product needs to be trimmed. It is necessary to reserve the installation position of the upper basin stiffener when trimming. And then for punching, drain hole and overflow hole are punched on special moves and punches. According to the actual condition of the plate and punching equipment, it may be necessary to perform bar processing on each section. And then for the roll welding and butt welding, this step can be omitted if you choose double mold. If it is a two-slope rolling mold or button weld basin, it must be welded with the upper plate of the zinc after punching. Roll welding is usually done by CNC welding, but it can be also be hand welded by workers. If it is a butt welding zinc, butt welding for both sides of the zinc is required. Lastly, butt welding zinc are rare in our product line. The obvious feature is a welding line in the middle of two basins.
So for the roll welding, it is a two slot that rolling bolt and bottom weld basin. It must be welded with the upper part of the basin after the zinc punching. For the spot welding itself, it uses a laser spot welder for rib and hook weld. According to the different equipment setting, this is because each spot welding produces about 3 solder weld joint. Glue reinforced rib hooks are sometimes used depending on the buyer requirement. Okay, then polishing will go through 4 processes, which is surface treatment polishing, polishing zinc wall, polishing joint, and also polishing upper plate. So polishing, this is because to remove unwanted material after welded and to make a shiny surface for the zinc, which is for the wall, for the joint, to make it more clean and safe to be used.
I will present about finishing, which is first stamping logo. We use AC etching that customizing metal products. It was interesting artistic effect. This is due to the ASIC ability to eat away the metal. This process of metal AC etching is to fix a design or picture on a piece of metal with heat fuse ink and submerging the metal in an acid bath. No need special tools, but produce a professional brand outlook on a metal product. Then repair, we use powder coating, which is this process applies a decorative finish that provide a very durable material. In this technique, dry plastic powder is melt onto the metal surface, which produce a texture or glossy look. After that, we spray a paint. We use oil-based paints, which is that are the most durable one. It contain no water and therefore there's no risk of rust, so no corrosion. And for cleaning, we remove all the organic material. We using a broom, shovel or scraper. Then it removes as much solids as possible to minimize to use the water in the next step. Second, when done correctly, the washing will remove 99.99% microorganism in environment, and we use high pressure water. Third is disinfecting as a chemical. It's to control microbes on surface. We use ethanol to break down proteins and are non-corrosive. Lastly, drying, so that all the moisture can evaporate from the building and all its surface. Next is packaging. There is 6 tips. First one is type and size of zinc. Then maximum or minimum zinc height. After that, zinc load width for stacking strength. Then unitizing. We use strapping and corner post. But there is more, which is stretch wrap and string wrap. Then master shipping container, we use box. After that, protective packaging, we use foam and bubble wrap. Lastly, I will talk about storage. First, we calculate warehouse storage utilization to fix the number of our product. Then stay on top of KPIs. This is for our discipline. Third, reduce unnecessary idle space to make our space big than before. And number 4 is invest in the right warehouse storage system. This is to produce a systematic and strategic storage warehouse. And lastly, we use containers that suit the size of the goods that our product use.